what then of the person who's applied 18 months ago, who still sits in Italy, for example, okay, who has been granted a job by a company in South Africa? The whole process has been above board. All compliance issues have been met. And yet, because of the backlog, that person can't come into the country because they are compliant. They are law-abiding. They know that they should have done certain things. But because of the backlog, let's say a CEO who's going to run a particular company who says, listen, I want to come and take up this job, but I also want my children and my wife to come to South Africa to come and live with me. What does that person do 18 months after application and there is a backlog?
It is an absolute reality at the moment that scenario that you described there, it is not far-fetched. It absolutely happens. It happens every day, and there are businesses and individuals who sit with exactly that huge frustration. And it's desperate for businesses where they go, we really need this person. We cannot function without them. There's a job here. There's a skill here that we cannot fulfill, and we need this person to come in. It's been very difficult to work through that. We have a history of working very closely with the Department of Home Affairs when you need to escalate something like that. But the nature of the backlog just doesn't allow that. If you speak to the senior officials at the Department of Home Affairs, they are equally frustrated. They are inundated with requests. They are stretched to the limit. These are not these are good people trying to do their job, but the system is completely overloaded, and they simply don't get to everything. And they've got very strict protocols now in place in terms of how they deal with the backlog, and you cannot simply say, hey, this guy is the CEO and he's very important and you need to please process his application next. They will come back to you to say simply we can't. We've got protocols in terms of how we need to deal with it, and that person must wait their turn. So from our business perspective, we obviously represent a lot of large multinationals and big corporates who have exactly this frustration, and our approach has certainly been to take a more legal approach on it and take legal steps, and to a certain extent where you might need to get the court involved to say, guys, can the court please intervene to allow us to get an application expedited and to explain from a legal point of view why this is more important and what the harm will be if we do not get a visa issued. And that has worked well for us in terms of being able to shed some light on certain applications where there definitely is a need for urgency.
So if I understand you correctly, Marisa, for compliant individuals,
yes,
for compliant companies who have applied according to the law and have followed each and every prescript of the law, you're saying that once there is non-movement as a result of these backlogs and issues that are beyond even the officials' capability to deal with, you're saying to me that there is some recourse in the general space.
Yes, absolutely. There is recourse, and it's taken us as long to find a path in terms of what that recourse looks like, because you try many avenues and you fail many times. But yes, certainly we've been able to find recourse for our clients in terms of getting visas issued, even with the significant delays. We've taken a legal approach on it, and most certainly the intention is not necessarily to end up going to court, but it does allow us to put some pressure on the system get an application lifted from the pile and get it looked at, and find some relief for applicants.
I suppose there'll be a lot of people who are in that backlog who would want to get in touch with you to understand what that legal recourse involves. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to give us those contact details. The reason why I'm not asking you to go into that is because there's so many different categories of visa applicants that would want to have that conversation. But I'm hearing you to be saying to me that there is recourse, there is a way. But perhaps as a question on the side, is this recourse with the assistance sometimes of the department?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So there's no antagonism in this particular situation with the department, if I understand you correctly.
Most definitely not. Most definitely not. As I've said, I mean, the department is equally under pressure. It's not that they don't have an understanding for where the urgency is coming from. They completely get it, but their hands are tied to a certain extent, and this and an approach like this allows them to assist and so it's absolutely collaborative and with the Department of Home Affairs assisting thereon.
I want to reiterate that these kinds of recourses are for compliant people who find themselves stuck in an administrative backlog situation. This is what this is about. It's not just for anybody that wants some sort of recourse, even though they may have been declined for administrative reasons in that process. Because I remember you saying that there are very strict protocols that may sometimes render certain people non-compliant in as far as the Department of Home Affairs is concerned?
Absolutely. So, I mean, our first step in onboarding a client with an existing application pending who approaches us to say, can you help me, that my application is stuck. The first step would be is please provide us with a full copy of your application pack so that we can in the first instance see whether you have submitted a compliant application that we can take forward to get expedited. It's essential.